All right, 3:49. Are we there yet? That could be what Marlins fans are asking themselves as the never-ending bidding war for their baseball franchise, well, drags on. Charlie Gasparino joining us now with the very latest.
Significant detail in this bidding war.
Okay.
Three groups as of yesterday. A group led by Derek Jeter, the former Yankee All-Star. Jorge Mas, the billionaire South Florida businessman, very close ties to the Miami community. And then a third one, but from a financier named Wayne Rothbaum, who actually had a bunch of interesting players in his bid. I believe Jeb Bush was involved in this bid. I also believe the CEO of Shoney's was in the bid. David Poor, I believe his name is. Let's see if someone could correct my pronunciation.
Start Googling.
But from what we understand, sources are telling the Fox Business Network, there we go, David Poor. Whatever. Anyway, I'm not going to butcher.
Who dropped out?
From what we understand, what sources are telling us is that the Rothman bid, the Wayne Rothman group, has likely dropped out, or has given indications that they're dropped out, meaning that there's two left. There's Jeter and there's Mas. So Derek Jeter, if this pans out, and we should point out this, I always say if for some reason, for this reason, rival bidders are telling me that Rothbaum is out. Rothbaum has not returned phone calls to Fox Business. We've also called Mr. Davenport. When we find out exactly what they have to say, we'll report it again. But it's from rival bidders. But if this is true, and I believe it is, we should point out that Derek Jeter is that much closer to achieving his All-Star baseball goal. You know, he's going to be a future Hall of Famer and running a team. It's going to be between he and Jorge Mas. Now, the bidding of this thing is apparently, from what we understand, neither of them at the $1.3 billion level that it was initially at. Both bids are now below 1.3, and actually, we understand below 1.2 billion.
Oh.
That's still a hell of a lot of money for this franchise.
Yeah, can you put that the price tag in perspective for me?
Look at it this way: when Jeffrey Loria, the guy that owns, the owner of it now, bought it, I believe he bought it for something like, you know, I can't remember the exact number. It was $200 million at the most. It was not a lot of money, or maybe between 2 and 5, from what I understand. Now, if you think about it, 10 years later, because of the scarcity value of Major League Baseball teams, the bid now is around at least $1 billion. So he's making a sizable profit. We should also point out that the Miami Marlins are not just mediocre on the field, check their record, they're also mediocre financially. Even worse than that, they're losing money. So Major League Baseball definitely wants new ownership in there. Right. They don't do well in attendance. They have lousy marketing. You can just go down the line. They have a lot of debt. Major League Baseball really wants something to go with something new in this franchise to basically take it forward.
And Jeter's a famous name, a popular name. I mean, could he do something that would attract viewers and crowds again? Maybe,
but Jorge Mas, from what I understand, is the one they really league. If you would talk to league officials, they have druthers, it would be Jorge Mas more than Jeter, or have Jeter join the Jorge Mas group. And the reason why is because he is huge in South Florida. This guy's father was Jorge Mas Canosa, huge Cuban dissident back in the day, anti-Castro dissident. His son now runs the same dissident organization that the father's created. This is like Mr. South Florida. He's very big ties in the community. If you talk to baseball executives, they would like him to be the controlling bid here, and maybe Jeter teams up with him. So that's what we have right now. We're going to wait to hear what Mr. Rothbaum has to say. We should point out that Mr. Rothbaum runs a hedge fund. He has not returned our calls. We do have calls into the Shoney's owner as well. But from what we understand from the rival bidders, it's down to 2. It's Jeter, it's Jorge Mas, and the decision could be made next week. And we should point out next week is the owners' meeting, the annual owners' meeting of Major League Baseball in Chicago.
Next week's looking likely then.
So it looks like it's next week. But we'll see. Next 2 weeks. This thing is coming to an end finally.
Thank you for following.